Welcome to tonight's Family Mediation Time. I'm your old friend, Whispering Life Stories. Tonight we won't talk about big theories, only real stories. The protagonist of our story wheel, call her Mia's, 23 years old. She has a 25-year-old brother. Mia's parents divorced when she was 19 and her brother was 21. A year later, her father told her he was going to marry a girlfriend he had been dating for only 6 months. The woman had 2 children, one in middle school and one in high school. Mia and her brother didn't object. But something inside them was quietly hurt because their father had never told them in advance, "I'm planning this." He didn't necessarily need their blessing, but Mia felt, at the very least, "You should tell me that our family is about to change." What made her feel even more distant was that the first time she met those 2 children was at her father's wedding. That day, she, her brother, and their partners were not seated at the family table. As she watched her father's new wife, sitting together with her children, Mia suddenly realized, in her father's new world, her place and her brother's was something to be renegotiated. Years passed. Mia and her brother moved to different cities and built their own lives. Her father's wife thought Mia was passive and rude because she didn't actively try to build a relationship. Mia responded, "Didn't we already agree that the ball is in my court? I stay polite, I'm friendly when we meet. But why should I be expected to actively love someone I barely know?" What truly began to trouble Mia was that she recently got engaged. As she and her fiancé started imagining their future children, a sensitive question surfaced. What should her father's wife be called by the child? Her brother already has 2 kids, and lets them call their father's wife by a common grandmother title. Mia feels uncomfortable with that. Not out of malice, but because I only met her as an adult. She is not my mother. My mother is still alive, and we have a great relationship. When she calls me daughter, or says she has 5 children, I feel uneasy all over. She shared her hesitation with her brother. Didn't think it was an issue. But Mia noticed something interesting. When asked, "How many siblings do you have?" Both she and her brother give the same answer, one referring to each other. As for the 2 step-siblings, we met them as adults. We get along fine, but they're not my siblings. Just like my future child won't automatically have another grandmother. Mia asks, asks, everyone listening tonight, if I don't want to use those intimate family titles, does that make me the bad person? Dear listeners, let's pause and think. What makes Mia's story worth reflecting on is not dramatic conflict, but how ordinary it is. So ordinary that almost every blended family, especially those where adult children, face a parent's remarriage is quietly going through something similar. In psychology, there's a concept called forced kinship, when someone is expected to show natural intimacy toward a person with whom they have no emotional foundation. They instinctively resist. This is not coldness, it is a boundary. Mia hasn't refused politeness. She's refusing to perform intimacy. And that title, grandmother, daughter, sibling, has never been just a word. It is an emotional contract. When we call someone grandmother, what we are really saying is, you have played a warm, meaningful, and responsible role in my life story. If that role doesn't exist, the title becomes an empty label or even an intrusion. Mia's brother chose that title for his children, perhaps for peace, or perhaps because he has formed a genuine emotional connection with his stepmother. But Mia has the right to choose differently. Respecting others' choices does not mean you must copy them. There's another often overlooked point. Mia's mother is still alive, and they have a good relationship. If her father's new wife also takes on the grandmother title, what does that mean for Mia's mother? It's not about jealousy, it's about blurred emotional identity. The meaning of family titles lies precisely in their uniqueness and clarity. So Mia, I want to say this to you. You are not a bad person. You are an adult trying to build your own family ethics honestly. You don't need to apologize for not wanting to call someone mom. It's just as you don't need to perform a feeling you don't genuinely have. You can continue to be polite, respectful, and kind to your father's wife. That is already enough. Family bonds are not legal obligations. They grow naturally from years of shared time and memory. As for your future child, you can teach them to understand it this way. This is your grandfather's wife, objective, respectful, and honest. And as the child grows, depending on the depth of real interaction, you can decide whether a more intimate title feels appropriate. The second story. I want to start by reading a letter a letter written in a sharp tone, almost angry. The writer didn't leave a name, but she said she had to let more people hear this. She wrote, "No matter how tragic their story is, no matter how much you love children, no matter how much they claim to love their kids and would do anything for them, no matter how much you think you'll love those kids, no matter how well behaved the kids are, no matter how they describe their parenting style, no matter how they paint themselves as the good one and their ex is hike and flicked, both sides are probably lying. It's not worth it. Only when both of you already have children and are forming a blended family might it be worth it. Otherwise, it's never worth it. Step-parents, especially stepmothers, will never be given the benefit of the doubt. Your normal frustrations will be magnified, as if everyone is looking for proof that you are the evil stepmother. You'll be expected to love them like your own. But don't expect the same in return. You will inevitably spend money raising someone else's children. You will see how bad your partner is at parenting and completely lose attraction. Childless singles should only date childless singles. Save yourself before you get dragged in. Perhaps you once met someone with children who spoke of their ex with exhaustion, claiming they had done everything for the kids but were just unlucky to have a hike and flick partner. She thought, if I love him, I should love his children too. She tried buying gifts, playing with them, helping with school runs, but the children didn't respond. The ex spoke behind her back, calling her a homewrecker, and her partner, whenever she tried to discuss parenting differences, would say, "You're not their real mother, you don't understand." Or the opposite. "Didn't you say you'd love them like your own? Then why can't you?" Every moment of her exhaustion, every bit of resentment, every time she thought, "I can't do this anymore," became proof. See, stepmothers are always like this. She gave money, time, emotional energy, only to realize that in this family, she would always be an outsider, and the person she loved, either disengaged from parenting or overcompensating out of guilt-making, her feel increasingly disillusioned. So she reached a conclusion. It's not worth it. I have to admit, this letter reminds me of one word: boundaries. Her not worth it is essentially about boundaries. She's saying, as someone without children, entering a family with children means my boundaries are constantly at risk of being violated. Because of social expectations, family dynamics, and the name of love, I'm not allowed to say this is too much. So the best way to avoid that pain is simply not to enter at all. On an individual level, this logic is completely valid. Your feelings are the highest form of evidence. If you already feel drained and treated unfairly, choosing to leave or not step into a similar situation again is a healthy act of self-protection. But as tonight's host, I also want to gently say, the conclusion "it's never worth it" might be hiding another possibility. What if your partner knows how to set boundaries, knows how to protect you, knows not to dump all parenting responsibilities onto you? What if they have already established clear co-parenting rules with their ex, instead of dragging you into hike and flicked? What if they don't expect you to love the children as your own, but allow a natural, gradual, unforced relationship to develop? The letter says only when both people already have children might it be worth it. Hidden in this statement is an insight. When both people enter a blended family with children, they both understand boundaries and imperfection. They won't hold each other to unrealistic, saint-like expectations. But between a childless person and a parent, there is often an inherent imbalance where you always owe them understanding, while they owe you less. Dear listeners, tonight's story doesn't offer a neat, happy ending, because some relationships are, by nature, high-risk bets. To the woman who wrote that letter, I want to say, your anger is your boundary speaking. Thank you for having the courage to say it's not worth it. Those words are not cold. They are protection. And to you, listening right now, have you experienced something similar? Or are you a single parent yourself? What did you feel hearing this? Feel free to share in the comments. You don't have to rush to judge. We can just listen to each other's stories. Finally, I'll leave you with a sentence I read recently. Love is not the sacrifice of boundaries. Love is two people choosing to come closer with clear boundaries intact. Don't let love turn your boundaries into something disposable. But don't let fear of pain make you reject all possibility of connection. The key is your feelings are never too much. I'm whispering life stories. Thank you for listening to tonight's Family Story Time. If you have a story to share, feel free to leave a comment or send a message.